Final pre-election Cheddar poll conducted for us exclusively by Survey USA. And in this poll, we find that Joe Biden maintains a very strong lead over the incumbent Republican president, Donald Trump. Let's take a look at these numbers. You see in a head-to-head matchup of likely voters, we see that Joe Biden is up 52% to Donald Trump's 44%, but this is slightly smaller of a spread than we saw in our previous two polls about 10 days and a month ago, respectively. In both of those polls, Joe Biden had a 10-point lead. Now it is 8 points. However, Election Day is tomorrow, and if Joe Biden can translate this national polling number to the popular vote, which seems likely at this point, he will win the popular vote decisively. But in this country, the popular vote does not guarantee the presidency, as we have seen a couple times throughout history, but most specifically back in 2016, and will likely continue to be the trend moving forward as the Electoral College plays a ever weightier role than it ever has before. And this is why looking at demographics is so important here, Baker. We know that President Trump decisively won suburban men, seniors, and suburban women back in 2016. All but one of those groups has moved away from him. The other one is a virtual tie. Among suburban men, he is in a virtual tie with Joe Biden 46 to 45%. Among suburban women, Biden is winning suburban women by 2/3, 62% to 32% for the president. And among seniors, Joe Biden is up yet again, not as much as we saw in our last poll, but still decisively an 8-point spread between the former vice president and the current president among that key demographic and voting group. But the president has gained some support as well. He has gained support among gun owners. He's gained support among white voters who have not obtained a college degree. And he's also continued to hold strong support with Hispanic voters. All of that shows in this recent polling. Now, we also, every single time we do this poll, Baker, ask our respondents what the most important issue is to them as they head into this election. Let's pull up those issues matching about 10 days ago's response. COVID-19 continues to be the top issue for voters moving into Election Day, followed by the economy. But unlike a few weeks ago when we saw that the economy and COVID-19 were virtually neck and neck, COVID-19 has pulled ahead dramatically, very much decisively the most important issue for every single voting group. And among those who say COVID-19 is their most important issue, those voters are voting for Joe Biden 3-1, just really a massive spread. But among voters that say the economy is the most important issue, Baker, those voters are voting for President Trump 3-1. So you can see that there's a clear delineation between who thinks President Trump is best on the economy and who thinks Joe Biden is best on COVID-19. And that is how they are choosing their most important issues. But as we see COVID cases continue to surge around the country, we just don't know what real impact this is going to have on our election. We know that nearly 100 million Americans have already voted because of the increased access to early voting to prevent the spread of COVID-19. We've seen cases surging, hospitalizations surging, particularly in the Mountain West and Midwest regions of this country, two places that are going to be incredibly pivotal in this election in states like Arizona, Wisconsin, and Michigan. But we just don't know how this will exactly play out. What we do know is that we asked Americans what they think about the COVID-19 pandemic, their feelings about it, who they think would be the best leader, and most specifically, have they ever had a COVID-19 test? And startlingly to me, as someone who's had many COVID-19 tests, a vast majority of Americans have yet to have a single COVID-19 test. This goes to show that the reach of this virus, while it is wide-reaching and non-discriminatory, still doesn't have the reach that we would expect. Only 6% have had more than 3 tests, Baker.